This is a 3-inch 12 gauge double aught buck shotgun shell. There are 15 pellets of double aught buck in there, and they go somewhere around 1,300 feet per second. I don't know. I didn't look that up. Probably should have. This is an 1.75 inch number 4 buck, and there are 15 pellets of number 4 buckshot in this little guy. I have a Mossberg Maverick 88, and it will hold 5 of these in the magazine. It will hold 8 of these in the magazine, which is a lot. A lot more. We're talking about 6 total versus 9 total, so 50% more capacity. That's not nothing. Now, obviously, a number 4 buckshot, you may not be familiar with this. It is 0.24 inches in diameter, so like a 24 caliber. A double aught buck is 0.33 inches, so again 50% larger basically in diameter on that as well. So it's a pretty even trade-off, it seems. This is really designed for hunting or like large game self-defense if you're living out in Alaska or Canada or something. Except you can't have guns in Canada. I don't know how that works. Trudeau, you know what I'm saying. Um, but it's for game or shooting long distances. Inside a house, I don't really see any drawbacks to having, a third the amount of powder and smaller pellets. Seems like for two-legged predators, it just makes more sense because there's less chance for overpenetration. It's still going to go through sheetrock. I mean, that's not much of anything, but if it happens to hit a stud or something, it may slow that down. Um, Seemingly, there are very few drawbacks for this as a self-defense round in a home situation. Um, but we're going to see a little bit about how that stacks up as we progress with this. First of all, I'm not really going to get into exact prices because that's going to be a regional thing, but these are roughly half as much as these. And I guess the main reason is they come in about the same size box, and you get 10 of them in this, and you only get 5 of these typically. That's how I find them. And like I said, about the same price. So twice as many, which again makes sense because you're getting about half as much stuff.
All right, so another massive benefit about this, because they're like low brass shotgun shells and they're half of it, and there's a lot less mass in the pellet wad, however the heck that is they should be pretty low recoil. And to kind of test that theory, I'm letting my 10-year-old daughter see if she can hit this paper plate down here. Okay. As you can see, like, she's not even quite big enough to hold this, so we're gonna let her prop on this chair right here and get lined up, and we'll see how she feels about this. So she didn't trust me that it wasn't gonna kick hard, so I'm gonna take the first shot and then we'll get her over here on it. How was that? Okay, so this is 2 shots. I think there's 22 holes in it, so 22 out of 30, and we were probably I don't know, 10 or 12 yards away. She actually hit better than I did. She got 2 in the center and I didn't. So, I mean, they're grouping fine. Again, for home defense, that seems pretty ideal to me. That's not a very large, I mean, a 10-inch target at 10 yards is about how wide that's opening. That seems pretty good.
Okay, so the recoil may be just a little bit too much for a 10-year-old girl, but it's pretty low, and you get a great increase in capacity here, like we said, and they're cheap. So, what's wrong with these shotgun shells? Well, unless you have a single shot or a break action shotgun, you may run into some feeding issues because there's so much space in that chamber, especially if your shotgun is set up for 3-inch or 3.5-inch shells. They just kind of rattle around and get
oriented in really weird positions, and it essentially makes your pump shotgun useless. And so, of course, as soon as I find this out, I take to the internet and I'm like, hey, yeah, these shotgun shells, they're a great idea. They just don't work. They're not very practical. And someone's like, wait a minute, have you checked out this website? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, click on this link. And so, sure enough, there is a company that makes this adapter specifically for Mossberg shotguns. It's OP Soul, or I don't know how you pronounce that. But anyway, it's just a little flexible rubber piece that fits in there and just kind of fills that gap, takes up some of that space so these short shotgun shells work seemingly flawlessly. I've ran several magazines through there now and haven't really had any hiccups. I'm not sponsored by this company. They don't even know I'm making this video. I bought this with my own money. It was less than $20 though, so well worth the money to get these shotgun shells to work if it's something that you're interested in. And I will say that installation is super easy because it's just made exactly correctly. You just press it into place, basically leave the pump slid all the way forward and then push it up until it hits the bolt and it's there. And then when you want to run regular shotgun shells, you just open the slide and then push it out through the top. Like, it's super easy. Really good idea. So if you've got a pump Mossberg shotgun and you run this adapter, I absolutely would recommend getting these. They're like pretty fantastic now that they work flawlessly. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed.